Alrighty, my name is Carlos Aviles and I am a Java programmer. I started programming 2 years ago and since then much improved these recent months. Haven't mastered Java yet, but hopefully I do one day. I know a few other programming languages such as HTML and VB.NET, which is also Visual Basic for long, and a few others. On this video, AstroCycles, Java game programming tutorial number 1. I will be introducing you what you should expect, and hopefully you leave here with a good mindset of building a basic game. What is AstroCycles? Well, it's going to be the name of my game that I will be creating in front of you. So I hope you enjoy this video, and yeah. So before we start programming anything right now, I am going to be using IntelliJ, which is a really advanced Java IDE, better than Eclipse. I prefer this over Eclipse, but one con of this, I should say, is that you cannot have more than one project open like Eclipse. You're allowed to have like as many as you want, I think. I think there's a limit, but yeah. I would be using this. I really recommend you use this. I have the ultimate version, which costs a few bucks, but it's really worth it. It comes with a built-in decompiler, but never mind of that. And also, before we start, this will be this will be just a simple Java 2D game. But before we start anything, the professional way of doing this is basically starting from like below, and then once we start below, we'll know what to do later on in the game, like making up ideas while we go along. But what I mean by this is we'll be starting this as a small Java text-based game, and then later on we'll be creating the actual thing. Java text-based, you mean? Yeah, it's gonna suck, but I actually like it, and I do this most of the time. To start from the bottom basically means creating a text-based game and later making the actual J-frame window and all that, canvas and all that. We will be doing that, so this will be at least, if not 50 tutorials. I hope 50, yeah, probably more. I'll be trying to release a video every other so day, so be watching out the videos from my channel. And again, this will be a text-based game, but expect a good game later on. I will be doing this as professionally as I can. Most other people just half-ass it, I should say, like they don't try, or they're just not that good. But yeah, we won't be using command prompt. We will be using J-frame, but we'll be adding a JText area, text field button and all that to make it more professional, because I don't really like command prompt. I tried it once. I mean, I do it most of the time. I created it with another game called Ruin Ventures, which is not public. It's just a private thing, and it looks pretty horrible. But yeah, let's go back on topic. Let's start. We're gonna create a package. Let's call this com, which stands for company, and then the name AstroCycles. Basically, you want to create the package of your like domain com, like astrocycles.com, but don't worry too much about that. You don't need to buy a domain or do all that. Just create a fancy package or whatever you want to do. You don't have to create a package actually. Alright, let's create a Java class. Let's call this main, and in this main package or class, we're going to create the main method, and then the main method is basically this is the main method. Now create another class, preferably in another package. Let's call this game, and in this game create another Java class, call it game. Yeah, just create a game. And then in here again, create another package, call it util or utilities, which is going to contain a really important class called constants. Constants are basically uneditable variables like public static final, string, int, boolean, and byte, and create this class final. Alright, this is a constant. This is a constant, public static final, string. It can be an integer, a boolean, byte, like I said. And it's basically cannot be edited while the game is running. That means if you try to edit this, it will not let you because it's final. Now in here we're gonna store something, the game name, and the game name is gonna be called AstroCycles. Alright, that should be it for this class. Close it if you want to, but I'm not. And then let's create the game window here. Create another class called game window or game client, which I will call it game client. Most people do extends JFrame, but that looks really ugly in my opinion. We're gonna create a constant for that class in here. Again, this is a constant. Let's call this window equals new JFrame. We're going to initialize this. Since this is a constant, it has to be initialized. It cannot be initialized. Alright, since it's not letting us, we'll just import that manually. And JFrame right there. We imported the class. Let's do a couple more constants, like for the Java text-based game. Alright, JText area, which is basically this, like adding like that. I really don't know how to explain this, but let's call this chat area equals new JText area. Whoops. Alright, Alt Enter if you're using IntelliJ. Alright, another constant, let's call this J scroll pane, and scroll pane equals new J scroll pane. And this is going to take in the parameters chat area. Basically a placeholder, or I don't really know how to explain that, but yeah. Alright, JText field. A JText field is basically any input area like that, like inputting stuff. And yeah. Alright, we're not going to add in a parameter. It's going to be like that basically. And another constant, let's call this send button equals new J button, and give it a parameter send. You don't really need this, but if you're going to be copying me literally from code to code, which I don't mind at all, please do that, I advise you, then add this. Otherwise, we'll be creating a keyboard listener to the text area. So that means if we press enter, it'll just send it without us really needing this. Yeah, alright, so let's create the constructor. This is what a constructor is basically. And let's give this a few, just one parameter, the title of the game. Alright, let's see. Let's create a chain method. I think that's what's called. This is what a chain method is, or I don't know if that's the right, but let's want to be calling a chain method. So set components, return this. I won't be talking much. I'll just type this out and explain what a chain method is. I'm not sure if that's the right name, but yeah, I'll be naming that in this series. Chain method, basically. Yeah, just a method, but better than a method in my opinion. And display. Create the last one called display. You have to have return this, or return null works better, but return this looks much better. Alright, this is what a chain method is. Alright, set components. You can do that infinite amount, like add listeners. You can do that an infinite amount of times you want. I think. Well, I'm pretty sure you can, but with a method, like let's create a method right here, public void run. Here, run. You can't do that. So you get an error. And then we do set components. Set components. You're not going to get an error. You can even do run in the end. But you cannot do it here in the middle. Just in the end. Or, yeah, in the end. Alright, remove that. Alright, in the display, the first thing we're going to do is add frame. Or, not frame, window, my bad. Window that set visible to true. And then we're going to add this. We're going to add a couple things to the JFrame, or a couple components. Let's see, component chat area. I advise you add chat area first before you add the scroll pane. I always do it this way, but you completely ignore what I just said. I don't know what I just said. You don't doesn't matter the way you added it. I think I always add it just in a row. I always do chat area first, so yeah. And then the last one, select button, the add text or send button, right? Whoops, not send button, the add frame, that add, or window, not frame. I usually do frame, I never do window for the instance. Alright, we're basically adding what? Okay, we're basically adding components onto the window, and we're setting the window to be visible. Otherwise, the user won't be able to see it. And then here, or no, not here. And here, do window that set layout to null. And basically, we're setting the layout to null. That means if we add add a location for the chat area, you can add it anywhere you want with ease, without any trouble. Alright, now on top of that, adds windows that set title to title. Yeah. And then window that set size. Alright. You're getting an error, but in constants we're gonna yeah, and a constant should sound just perfectly fine for me. Alright, we're gonna create another constant, but this time an integer. Call it game window width equals 600 or 650 should be just fine. And then another constant integer too, called game window height equals parentheses game window width divided by 4 times 3. This is basically going to give it a good 4:3 resolution. And now you don't have to do new dimension, but since we're going to import that, might as well use it here too. Now let's create width. It's going to take in the width first. So what is it? Game window width. Yeah, right. And then another one called game window height. Alright. So yeah. Now we're going to do window.set preferred size. As I said, we're going to be using this dimension, so might as well use that too. Basically just copy this and then copy this 2 times. We're going to set maximum and a minimum size. Alright, so this is gonna set the maximum size of the window, so that means it can't be resized, I think. Same with the minimum, so hopefully that can't be resized, but just do another secure thing. We're gonna set resizable to false. That means they won't be able to resize this. Alright, window that's set focusable. That means it's gonna be focus onto the game or window frame. Another one's window that's set. What is it? Set. I forgot that name. Set default close operation. Yes, we need this. This is in order for the window to close. If you don't add that, that means pressing the X button will not work, I think. I never tried it. I always add that. What I've been told to do. And then set. I just had this in my mind. I think it's set location. Yes, set location relative to null. Basically, gonna add it to the center of the frame, or center of the screen, not frame. What am I saying? Alright, and then one more thing. I had this in my mind again. Alright, I think it's set always on top to false. Should be just fine. Alright. Now, I think that should be it for the constructor. Now let's go back to the game class. We did not. Oh yeah, wait. It's in the main, my bad. Alright. On here, we're gonna try. And we're gonna we're gonna try and then catch an exception. X that prints stack trace. Or a better thing to do is use the logger instance. I like this personally. Makes your life much better. And then it's going to take in the parameters main.class.getName. You can use simple name, but getName's just fine. And logger.log level.severe. Import that. And then you can have that, or you can add in this parameter, the thrown parameter, which is the exception, and then error while starting up constants dot game name. You don't have to have this again. You don't have to have this game name, but I'm gonna be uploading this to GitHub, and this is just for newbies. Well, not newbies. You can be intermediate, anything, but basically, if you're gonna just leech this, basically steal my work, and yeah, I'll make this life easier for you instead of just finding the name and deleting and re-adding yours. So you're welcome. And we're gonna do a public game, which is the constructor, and then we're gonna implement runnable. The runnable interface, which is for threading, and before we do that though, before we end this video, add these couple methods, synchronized methods: public void start, or public synchronized void start, and then public synchronized void stop. Yeah. We're 18 minutes into this video, and already that should conclude tutorial number 1. That wraps up tutorial number 1 again. Sorry for repeating that. So I hope you all enjoyed the video as much as I did creating this. I hope I explained everything well in this video. If you're on YouTube, can you please drop a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you have any more accounts, not channels, can you please subscribe to? That's asking a lot, but yeah. If you have any questions, please fire them away in the comment section. I will do my best to answer them. If you can, please also share this video with any friends, family members, anybody you like. That would be amazing too. And I hope I see you in the next tutorial. And peace.